Welcome to Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. I'm Peter Gross, co-host of the original Wild Kingdom with Marlon Perkins and Jim Fowler. For more than 50 years, Wild Kingdom explored wildlife and our natural world. Tonight's episode, and many others, focus on the timeless value of wildlife conservation. Wild Kingdom played a critical role in changing public attitudes about the importance of animals for the health of our planet and our own quality of life. We challenge viewers to learn about animals and get involved in conservation in their local communities. That call to action resulted in more visits to local zoos, nature preserves, and even observing animals in their natural habitats. And that connection with animals benefits all of us in the Wild Kingdom. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Welcome to Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. For many centuries, man has harnessed the great strength and intelligence of the elephant to help him with work that he couldn't perform alone. This is particularly true of the Indian or Asiatic elephant. When once captured, it very quickly learns to work for man. The big problem, though, has always been in finding a humane method of capture. Just such a method has been developed and is now widely used in India, as Tom Allen and I recently discovered.
At first, a pit trap was used, but many elephants trapped this way were badly injured. The new method is a moat-type trap. A deep circular trench is dug in the jungle forest, and wild elephants are lured onto the island that is formed.
The big problem is how to entice these elephants onto the island so that unharmed they may be harnessed and trained to serve man. To see how it's done, Tom and I were invited to participate in a wild elephant capture in the south of India, here in the Nilgiri forest. Our journey's been long, but we finally reached the Mudamalai range of this vast forest, which is in the heart of elephant country. We first stop at the headquarters of the Mudamalai Sanctuary, which is operated by the Tamil Nadu government. Here, preparations have already been made for our participation in an elephant capture. In charge of this particular hunt is our new friend, Shanmugam, who is an experienced hand at it. He and our driver, Vishu, are old friends. But Shanmugam is the expert on capture techniques. Later on, he'll direct the actual capture. Right now, there's another form of transportation standing by for Tom Allen.
While Marlon and Vishu finish talking with Shanmugam and then go to the elephant training camp, Jadayan, the mahout or elephant handler, and I will head for the capture site. This country is rich in wildlife. Jadayan says we'll see elephants and maybe even a tiger later on along this trail, but right now the dominant wildlife is monkeys, like this capped langur. Monkeys often come to the ground, especially by streams like the one ahead. These are bonnet macaques. It's a funny thing how certain animals you'll see remind you of people you know or once met. This bonnet macaque scolding us for our approach is a good example. A closer look at his features confirms it for me, mainly because of that hairdo. He's the spitting image of a fellow I know back home in the States. We're in wild elephant territory now, and just as Jadayan predicted, there's the first small herd. On our own elephant like this, they accept us without alarm, evidently considering us as only part of the trained elephant carrying us. It would be a much different matter if we were afoot. The pink on that one's ears and trunk make it look like he's sunburned, but it's just a normal pigmentation trait which is more pronounced in some than in others. It's time to move on. When we first started, Jadayan told me that there's been a big tiger in this area and to keep on the alert for him. I really doubted that we'd see one, but our luck is good. It was only a brief sighting, but we were fortunate in seeing one that close. At 3 miles per hour, it has taken us quite a while, but we've finally reached our destination. We'd better not go in too close. Jadayan will let me go on afoot for the last 100 yards or so. The trench is already about half finished, and the foreman seems to have everything under control. He's been expecting me, and now he fills me in on details of the trap. When finished, it will be a circular moat about 8 feet wide and nearly that deep. Even though the tools being used are very simple, the men work swiftly. All the dirt is carried far away from the site to retain a natural look in the area. The foreman suggests that I build my observation platform, or mashan as he calls it, in a tree about 50 yards away on the opposite side of the moat from where we are standing. By the time we get the mashan built, he assures me the construction of the moat will also be finished. He says this site was chosen because it's on a route taken regularly by feeding elephants, and that our concern is not so much whether wild elephants will come, as it is whether the moat will be finished before they get here. A worker has already been assigned to cut the giant bamboo poles I'll need and help me build the platform. Here's the tree the foreman meant. It seems ideally located and will provide a good lookout perch. After the mashan is built, I'll have plenty of time, while waiting for the elephants to come, to observe some of the wildlife. Here comes the first of the bamboo logs for the mashan, and if all goes well, we should finish constructing the 30-foot high platform, not only at just about the same time the trench is done, but about the time Marlin finishes inspecting the elephant training camp.
When Tom left us to go to the capture site, Vishu and I drove to the Tepakadu Elephant Training Camp several miles away. In tropical jungle country like this, vehicles are useful only in the dry season. Elephants don't bog down during the long rainy season, and that's why elephant labor is essential. Therefore, elephant training continues unceasingly at places like this. As a general rule, only the bulls have tusks, but lack of tusks on the cows does not mean females don't help. They're taught to deftly use feet, trunks, and mouths to move the big teakwood logs, some of which weigh about 2 tons each. The elephants are guided by the mahout's bare toes against the ear, by taps with a stick, and later almost entirely by voice command. Log moving is considerably simpler for the big tuskers, and the jobs they do with great ease would be enormously difficult work for even an experienced team of men to accomplish. Vishu reminds me that it's time to move on to see the training the newly captured elephants receive at this Thepakatu Elephant Training Camp, operated by the Tamil Nadu government. Vishu explains that the initial step in taming a wild elephant is to get it accustomed to the presence and sound of man, and the touch of man on any part of its body. This is one of the elephants, heavily pigmented with pink, which, though only in captivity a few days, is already adjusting well. Within another few days, this elephant will be ready for the second stage of its training. In this stage, the elephant is taught its walking commands, initially with two well-trained elephants called kunkis. These kunkis flank him, easing his fears. Later, as he becomes accustomed to the men and routine, only one kunki will remain beside him, and finally he'll be on his own with his mahout and ready for the service he will perform for man. They're going down to the nearby river now for more specialized training, so it might be very interesting to tag along and see what they do. The trained elephant is worked only 6 hours per day in 2 3-hour sessions, with each elephant having a full day off every week. Since all captured elephants will be ridden by mahouts, it is essential that they learn at once to kneel and stand at command to permit a human to mount. Being trained to raise and lower their massive bodies is easier in water where they are more buoyant, and such training is thereby less strenuous for them. Even for a powerful elephant, it isn't easy to get up and down too often. Though somewhat smaller than the African elephant, the Indian elephant still has an average weight of over 11,000 pounds. The trainee is given plenty of time to refresh himself. He very quickly learns to kneel readily on command. To reward him for obeying, the handlers splash water over him liberally. Such daily baths are vital to the elephant's well-being and serve as a treat for work well done. The life of a working elephant in India is not really hard, nor is mistreatment ever permitted. Beyond this bank, there's a native village. All elephants trained here are handled by mahouts of the Karumba Hill tribe, an aboriginal people who retain their customs and language. Here the head mahout is a genial man, anxious to show me how the elephants in his charge are fed. This is the ration shed where a close record is kept on every elephant, and I'm interested in learning what the working elephants are fed. When I ask him, the head mahout explains to me that on this ration board, a careful daily record is kept of each elephant's food allowance. A diet which includes whole husk coconuts and large balls of cooked grain. And as something of a treat, each of the cooked grain balls has a hollow containing a sort of candy-like sweet. This food is much more nutritious than the leaves, branches, and bark wild elephants eat. Since it's feeding time now, the head maut invites me to do the honors. I've never reached into a bull elephant's mouth before, but there's no danger here. They've learned to be very careful where humans are concerned. This has been a unique experience to see these training activities at the Pakatu camp. But now it's time to move closer to where Tom has been working. Over here is where I'm to find my transportation and head for the capture site. Already the elephants are waiting to take me there, and the chief ranger, Sean Mugan, has come as he promised to direct the activities. We will soon find out how elephants are captured in the most humane method ever devised for taking them. We had to travel about 4 miles on elephant back to reach the location of the capture site where Tom was waiting. Sean McGom tells me that in the general area of this jungle, which makes up the Mudumalai range of the Nilgiri forest, there are upwards of 1,000 wild elephants, so we shouldn't have long to wait. He adds that we must keep well out of sight here, about 500 yards from the trap, but that we must be ready to move in rapidly. The pause gives me time to check with Tom, who says the trap is ready, and he's been watching some distant feeding elephants gradually heading his way.
I've also been watching a large bonnet macaque with his cheek pouches filled with food. But with the elephants coming now, I'd better check to see if everything is in readiness at the trap. They're just now completing the bridge spanning the moat. All that needs yet to be done is to get the bait set for these elephants. They have poor eyesight, but more than make up for it with a keen sense of smell, pausing often to sniff for any possible dangers. We'll have to hurry to get done, so they'll pay more attention to the smell of the bait than they do to any lingering human scent. The bait has been readied well in advance, and with the bridge completed, all that remains is to spread it around. If there's one thing in this world an elephant can't resist, it's freshly cut sugar cane. They can detect it from great distances and won't let much stand in their way of getting it. Once the cane is dropped on this island, the elephants are almost sure to cross the bridge after it. All elephants have a terrible fear of falling, and so normally they'd keep their distance from any sort of ditch or trench. The object is to make their desire for the cane overcome their fear. So it just might be wise for me to give them an even greater stimulus for crossing the bridge. They should be getting quite close now, so all that's left to do is to get into position and wait and hope. Here they come, They've caught the scent of the cane, and they don't seem suspicious. Our success will largely depend upon how much they've eaten before getting here. They'll have to want that sugar cane very much to cross the bridge after it. It's working. They really do like that sugar cane. I'd better alert the others.
Tom says we can start moving in. Sean McGom has briefed us on what to do, and we'll follow his lead.
It looks as if the herd leader is going to cross the bridge for more of the cane. There's someone else enjoying the show from a ringside seat. Sean Mugam timed their arrival perfectly.
We'll block this only exit with our own elephants, and their presence here will help keep the new captives from becoming panicky. They're using their trunks to try to determine the depth of the trench. It's a simple trap, but elephants can't jump. They won't step downward when they can't touch bottom with their trunks. We've got them. These elephants will soon be serving man. The moat-type trap was a thorough success, allowing capture without injury. As soon as the newly captured elephants had calmed down, they were removed from the island. One by one, beginning with the smallest, they were taken to the camp to begin training. Such captures as this are tightly regulated and strictly controlled so that wild elephant population levels will not be endangered. Even though some elephants will continue to serve man, there will always be enough wild elephants left to fulfill their role in the balance of nature. They will forever be a part of the wild kingdom.
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Like what you saw? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube for more exclusive content. And visit our website at wildkingdom.com.